So, you haven't received your $1,400 stimulus check. I'll be walking you through the process of how you can file a payment trace with the IRS, and we'll be discussing when the next batch or wave of payments will be distributed. Let's talk about it. But hey everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I am, and this channel is, your one and only daily advocate. I am back every single day to keep you updated with everything you need to know that's going on right now. Thank you so much for your support. Let's talk through this. So first off, the IRS continues to process payments every single week. Direct deposits typically happen on Wednesdays, and paper checks continue to go out on Fridays. So, as I've said in so many of my other videos, paper checks will continue to roll out. So, if you haven't received it yet and you're waiting for a paper check in the mail, just remember, it could take quite a while for it to get to you. Anywhere between a week, 2 weeks, even longer in some instances. So if you have a mail date on a paper check from a couple weeks ago, the best thing we can do is just continue waiting for it. I know that's not what you want to hear, but they have given us the guidance of saying, give it up to 4 weeks for delivery. Yeah, so we'll talk about that more here in just a minute regarding the payment trace. But right now, what I want to encourage you to do, the Get My Payment tool on the IRS website at this point needs to be our best friend. I know a lot of you don't really like the tool and say that it's not all that great. I agree, it's not perfect, but you know what? Right now, we need to rely on the Get My Payment tool for further updates to see when your payment is processed and what you have for a payment date. Also, what method in which you're going to be paid. Is it going to be a direct deposit? What kind of account is it going to go to? A bank account, a closed account in some instances, or a direct express card, maybe any of these other accounts like a NetSpend, Chime, PayPal, any of these accounts. Also, are you going to be getting a paper check? And which address are they going to be sending it to, right? So we want to continue to check the Get My Payment tool on the IRS website every so often so that we can keep a pulse on what is going on and when you can potentially see your payment. So this past Friday, more payments were issued, and again, this coming Wednesday, there should be more direct deposits hitting accounts. Now, I know it's not going to be all that many because realistically, there's not that many people left who haven't received it. However, you got to keep watching for it and hang with me. Please be patient with me. I'm doing what I can to help you out. To be totally honest with you, there's just not a whole lot of new information right now. I'm doing my best. I am digging and digging every day to try to find new information for you. I want to help you out just as much as you want to get that money as quickly as possible. So, first things first, we need to know what the Get My Payment tool says as far as a payment date and payment method. Now, let's talk about how you can file a payment trace if you're somebody who has a payment date and a payment method and you have not received your money yet. So here's what's really important about this. We need to know when your payment date is, as indicated by the Get My Payment tool. Why? Well, they've actually given us some parameters. If you are within the parameters that they've given, you can't file a payment trace. However, if your payment has not arrived yet and you are outside of the window that they have given us, then you could file a payment trace. Get what I'm saying? Let me give you a couple examples, or let me first give you the windows, and then we can talk about a couple examples here. So, first off, payment method. If your payment method is any of the following that I give you, it's going to correspond to the number of days outside of the window, then you can file a trace. If you're within the window, you can't file a trace quite yet. So here it is. If you're waiting for a direct deposit, 5 days. So if you check the Get My Payment tool and you have a date of whatever the date is, I don't know, 5 days ago, and you haven't received your payment within 5 days of the date specified on the Get My Payment tool as a direct deposit, you can then file a payment trace. Make sense? Also, one more quick note. You cannot file a payment trace unless you actually have a payment date. If you check the Get My Payment tool and it says not available, you can't file a payment trace. You don't technically have a payment processed yet. Make sense? I know. It's frustrating. I get it. but I'm doing what I can here to help you out. All right, let's continue with the dates, payment methods, and the windows. All right, so again, direct deposits, 5 days. If you haven't received it within 5 days of the payment date on the Get My Payment tool as a direct deposit, I'll give you the phone number here in a minute. Call the IRS, and you probably want to file a payment trace. All right. Paper checks to a standard address. In other words, your primary address where you live in the 50 United States, okay? So the 50 states, if you're within the states, your primary address, where you live, it is 4 weeks. Let me give you a quick example. So if you have a payment date of, for example, March 26th as a paper check payment date, and you still haven't received it, technically, you're still within the 4 weeks. So you would not be able to file a payment trace for a paper check unless it is on or after this coming Friday, April 23rd. Yeah, right? So you're still within the 4 weeks. Technically, if you called them, they would say, well, you're still within the 4 weeks. We probably can't file a payment trace. Now, again, this is just from the research I've done. I could be completely wrong with this, but from what I have found, this is the table that they have given. Either way, maybe you still want to call the IRS either way. I don't know your exact situation. I can't tell you what to do. I cannot advise you, but I'm just telling you the general information that I have found based on my research, okay? So, paper checks going to a standard address, 4 weeks. Again, March 26th. If you have a payment date on March 26th as a paper check and it has not arrived yet, technically, you wouldn't be able to file a payment trace until this Friday, April 23rd. All right, next. A forwarded address. This is again now for a paper check. A forwarded address. Let me give you an example. You lived at 123 Main Street as of 3 months ago. Well, then you moved to 123 Walnut Street. You moved a couple blocks over to 123 Walnut Street. And your mail goes to 123 Main Street and it gets forwarded to your new address. Well, this window now is 6 weeks. Yes, 6 weeks. So if you're one of those people who has a payment date and you have a forwarded address, 6 weeks is the window that they are saying as far as you got to give it 6 weeks to arrive. Okay? Makes sense? Now here's the next one. Foreign addresses. Let me give you an example. There's a few of you out there. You are somebody living in the Philippines. In fact, this is a common one that I've seen down below quite a few times. Hey, check it out. I live in the Philippines. I'm an American citizen. I have an address here. I'm waiting for a paper check. I have a payment date of blank. It hasn't arrived yet. What is my window? 9 weeks. 9 weeks is the window that they give on foreign addresses. Now that's anything. It could be a foreign address anywhere. I was just using the Philippines as an example because that's one of them that I've seen down below. I've also seen Colombia. I've seen all over in Europe. I've seen all over the place. But I just use those couple examples. But either way, 9 weeks. So whatever your payment date says in the Get My Payment tool, if you're within that 9-week window, you might not be able to file a payment trace. However, if you are outside of those windows that I just gave you and you have not received your check yet or your payment as a direct deposit, here's what you can do to file a payment trace. There's a couple different methods. You can fill out a form, which, I don't know, you can do that if you want, but you might want to check the IRS website for the exact instructions. I can tell you generally what to do. But the best way to do it is to call them and talk to an agent and file a payment trace. That way, over the phone, it would probably be a lot easier and faster. So here is the dedicated phone number for the IRS stimulus check line. This is to connect with an agent regarding stimulus checks. Okay? Here it is. 1-800-919-9835. Again, 1-800-919-9835. Okay? So you can call that number. I actually just called it literally right before I started recording to make sure that it is still in service. It's still in service. You just got to call it, and it's going to ask English or different languages. Hit number 1 for English, and then you go through the prompts, and then eventually after some period of time, you'll connect with an agent, and you can talk to them about your situation then. Okay? So have all of your information when you call them. If they ask you, hey, what's your payment date? And you don't have that, they might wonder. But either way, you just check the Get My Payment tool before you call them, get all of your information, have everything at hand so that when you call them, you know what you're talking about. You can give them exact dates, tell them exactly where the payment's supposed to go, either paper check or a direct deposit, whatever it happens to be. Help them, give them all the information you possibly can to help them better serve you. Make sense? But again, do not give them your social security number. You got to be very careful with this stuff. Basically, just say, hey, I have a payment date of March 19th. I haven't, as a paper check, I haven't received it yet. Can I put a trace on my payment? Okay? Follow up from there. If they ask for information, follow it there. But otherwise, never give any personal information unless you know exactly who you are talking to. I'm not responsible for you calling, somebody and giving them all of your information. I'm just saying, never give people your information unless you know exactly who you're talking to. You got to be careful. Anyway, that's the number, 1-800-919-9835. That is the dedicated phone number. And again, I can't give you advice. I'm not your accountant. I'm not your CPA. I am not the IRS. I'm just giving you general information to help you out through this time. But I hope this helps you. I know there's a bunch of you out there who are still waiting for your $1,400. You're getting really frustrated. I get it. I totally understand. I'm getting just as irritated with you because I'm trying to help you out, and it makes it kind of hard when there's not much information out there. You get what I'm saying? So I'll continue doing my research. I'll continue to bring you any new information that I have as soon as I get it. But just please stick with me. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. And trust me, I want to help you get this money just as badly as you want to get the money. Seems hard to believe, but it's true. Either way, thank you so much for your support. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video and share this video with anybody that you know who may still be waiting for their $1,400. And I will continue to keep you posted with anything else going on, like the fourth stimulus check and everything else. Thanks, everybody. You're awesome. I appreciate your support, and I hope this video helps you out.